Okay, let's go to something potentially dystopian here. So this one's from Moon. Apparently the Apple Vision Pro is scaring some people.
Apple's new Vision Pro terrifies me. On June 5th, 2023, Apple released their brand new game-changing product, the Vision Pro, and the hype was unreal. In just the build-up to the new product announcement, Apple's stock was bubbling up, rising in anticipation for its release. Because Apple's...
Enos, thank you, brother. Salute to you. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm clapping cheeks, touching the bottom, and dropping kids left and right. There's no shortage. What in the world, dude? Bring back real people. Thanks, brother. I hope you're doing that with your wife.
leadership and key investors knew that by unveiling their new Vision Pro, they would be changing human history forever. Because as soon as the product was announced, everyone everywhere was quick to say that this was the same as when the first iPhone was introduced.
You know, as a quote content creator, somebody that edits video and all that stuff, there's only one way I would use this thing, and that's connected to my MacBook, where it blows up the entire screen and all my apps everywhere. And I essentially have a projector of I could even stream with this thing. It would make it easier to stream. That's it. That's the only way. And it's to produce. I'm not watching movies on it. I'm not doing all the apps that are about to come out for this while it's in development for 1 more year is going to absolutely blow people's minds. These software developers, they're right. This is just the first iteration. This is going to change society. It's going to keep getting smaller, more efficient, and run longer. You're going to see people walking up and down the streets with this shit on, man. This is going to revolutionize everything. They are correct. Apple took their sweet ass time. Boy, oh boy. The very first thing, because you know we're apes, people are going to use it for adult entertainment. Game over. Imagine blowing up a lifelike avatar from some app showing you adult entertainment right there in your living room. Dude, the simps are going to eat this up. Apple's striking a gold mine. Video games are probably going to be crazy for it. So the other half of the simps are going to play video games and absolutely lose themselves. And then a small percentage, as usual, the 1% are going to be producing off of it, making money while everybody else consumes. Enos, it's 304 Paradise over here, bro. You need to come back. Why would I want to deal with trash? Bring back real people. Thanks for the 5. How do we wake up other men? Tried to talk to my friend out of marriage. It's pointless. He was like, she's different, LOL. Yeah, once a guy's all in love and shit, you can't tell him nothing about his woman. She's the one. They're made for each other. They're going to have kids, grow old, babies, all this bullshit. Until she breaks his heart and sucks off the next door neighbor. Let the man's got to bleed a little bit before he learns. Love Tech Philippines. Thanks for the 5. This is why a culture of desperate guys is subtly awful to exist in. They're so broken, they'll accept minimal. Also, let's drop apps. Cold Approach. Cold Approach is the best, by the way. That barrier women have on dating apps where they're super selective drops dramatically. And also just the ability for you to speak with them in person, touch, smile, laughter, big one. The fact that you can project sarcasm and tell jokes properly and slice the tension straight out of the air is incredible. Cold approaching will always be number one. And you have a huge advantage because most guys don't cold approach anymore. Not really recommended in the West if you're approaching a pink hair. But even out here, if you cold approach, you're probably going to do extremely well.
Or the first Mac. The Vision Pro is being praised by all corners of the internet and media.
But this feels like the Series 0, like the Apple Watch. Remember when the Apple Watch first came out, the Series 0? The parts of this headset that I tried are actually the best I have ever seen in any VR headset by a mile.
This headset is claiming to be the ultimate mixed reality VR AR experience. And I will say, it may very well be.
When they're boasting the ability to recreate the world around you in real time using LiDAR scanning and true depth cameras from the headset you're wearing, while it supposedly runs cool and quiet, man, even at that price point, I'm pretty blown away.
Everyone and the dog knew that this was the beginning of a new era. Tweets everywhere praising Apple's holy grail, their most addictive, cutting edge, and groundbreaking piece of technology yet. To the point that even huge companies like Disney partnering with Apple due to their strong conviction that this will finally be the VR headset to make virtual reality mainstream. With Bob Iger, Disney's CEO, saying,
"And we believe Apple Vision Pro is a revolutionary platform that can make our vision a reality."
And they're not entirely wrong. This is most definitely a groundbreaking, historic, and...
See that right there? That's what's going to suck in creators. Because I could have and then this is what'll suck in advertisers. Because look, they could advertise straight on your wall as you're watching a football game. You know, advertisements no longer have to take up the main screen, you'll always be shown the main screen, but an ad could play to the right. It makes them less intrusive, so they could show more and more and more of them. You have to tune that shit out some more. But the fact that it could alter the walls and make it feel as if you're live there in person, it's crazy, man. Apple's first iteration into VR is game changing. They're literally on a whole nother level. There's nobody even remotely close to this. And the product isn't even ready for launch yet.
Unprecedented product. But throughout all of the noise, one question has stuck with me about all of this. What problem is Apple actually solving? Now, this is the fundamental question of all businesses, because every great product is built from this line of thinking. What is the problem? How big is the problem? And how can I solve this problem? The bigger the problem and the bigger the solution, the more money you make as a business. If it's $1 million problem, the solution makes millions. If it's $1 billion problem, the solution makes billions. Jeff Bezos with Amazon, for example, solves the issue of a shop not having the products that you want, having to go to different shops for
You have to think about the Apple ecosystem too. On top of the apps we can't even foresee into the future, but think about having the Apple Watch on your wrist. It's tracking your vitals. Think about having the goggles on. It speaks to it. On top of that, with your MacBook or your iPhone, taking calls, seeing your vitals live. All this, you're plugged in, man, and you're tracked. Every single thing. Dude, this thing's going to be nuts. You're going to see people on airplanes. Yeah, everything integrated seamlessly. People will be in airplanes, on trains, in cars, in the library. They're going to be everywhere with this thing. Wild.
different things. The hassle of actually going to the shop in the first place, going at certain hours, having to stand in line, whilst Amazon also provides cheaper prices than any other shop with instant delivery. This, along with all the other problems that Bezos is solving through Twitch, Whole Foods, Audible, Blue Origin, etc., has made Bezos one of the richest people in the world. So then this brings back the question, what problem is Apple trying to fix with the Vision Pro? Well, at first it seems like they're just trying to solve the issue of virtual reality not being popular in the public. But is this actually a problem? Does anyone actually want virtual reality to be mainstream? Apart from Silicon Valley tech elites? No, the real problem that the Vision Pro is trying to solve is that not everyone in the world can have everything they always want. In fact, for the average person around the world, you have almost nothing you actually want or need. The despairing malaise that hangs heavy in the West permeates from the fact that there is no sense of adventure in your life, no community, no freedom. You spend every day struggling to pay the rent, the bills, the debt. Prices keep increasing, taxes keep hiking. Your income is stagnating, a recession is booming. Where we live in dystopian citadels with transient inhabitants, squabbling cheek by jowl for space, where your only free time is spent being shuttled on grindingly slow packed public transport through a dangerous...
Just imagine you and your wife or your girlfriend or your kids have one of these and you're able to share screens. So you're watching from yours, they're watching from theirs, you're watching the same movie together. You're seeing it from each other's perspectives, the angles. It's hitting you individually to make it seem like, you know, it's augmenting reality. It makes it feel like you're actually there. They're going to make this a social thing. They have to, because this is how this stuff sells, dude. And it has no remote, man. Everything is gesture control. It's constantly looking. Crazy, man. This is a turning point in society.
Urban sprawl, with just enough energy left at the end of the day to mindlessly watch a drip of lethargic, empty entertainment, where you then wake up in a gloomy, claustrophobic tower block, streaked with grime and riddled with moss, provoking the moral decay of your atomized existence. And as bleak as this may sound, this is the average life for most people, but with the perfect...
Just wait. Most of the early adopters will be lonely men, these like bug sandwich types. If women are watching this, here's how you make easy millions. You're gonna already create AI copies, avatars of yourself online. You're gonna integrate them with ChatGPT. You're gonna start up OFANs or whatever it is. And the moment this thing drops, your avatar, your chatbot, everything is good to go. And you're gonna be in front of their living room in real time, doing exactly what you want. And you can charge buku amounts of money. And these losers will pay every penny they have, and it's going to happen. And this will get funded by the millions of simps in the world.
Virtual reality system, this problem is solved. If the product is good enough, then the sad reality of your life just slowly fades out and a new reality begins. You can be crying of loneliness in your dark, empty apartment, but then when you put on the headsets, your true reality just dissolves away. You're taken to see different friends, different cultures, different places, different memories, more social media, more dopamine sucking videos, more games, more pleasure, in a way that you've never experienced before. I mean, when Tim Cook announced the Vision Pro, one of the key aspects of this new technology is the idea that this new kind of computer will blend the real world and the digital world together. A process that has already been catalyzed by Apple today. I mean, when you just stop and look around you, you'll notice how many people are just completely consumed by their iPhones and Macs.
Yeah, it's the sad part of this. We're disconnecting from reality, because I could imagine a guy on the beach walking with his VR goggles on, and he's not actually looking at the water. The sun's not shining in his eyes. His face is covered by a fucking screen, and he's just recording everything externally. Isn't that wild? You're there on vacation, but your face is covered by a screen the entire time. Your experience is virtually augmented. You're not even there in person, present in the moment with your own fucking eyeballs. What?
Our attention spans have been decimated by iPhones, the design of the iPhone, and how addictive it truly is.
Guitar, thanks brother. This in the metaverse will essentially reduce the human to a battery. Oh yeah, just wait until they get the metaverse down, where your avatar doesn't look like dog shit, where the cities are indistinguishable, where the graphics look like AAA titles, man. That's hard to tell the difference. Ooh-wee, dude, game over, I'm telling you.
Has kept the average person in a perpetual cycle of distraction ever since, endlessly disrupted by short dopamine hits. That's why in 2022, it was calculated that the average American spends 6 hours a day on their phone and another 4 hours on their computer. But with the new Vision Pro, you won't ever need to pick up a phone or a laptop. You can just be plugged straight into the Appleverse with your eyes, attaching your own consciousness, your life, your business, your culture, your society into a virtual world run by Apple. I mean, already we saw this in 2021 with Meta's metaverse, as companies like Nike were buying up virtual shoe companies along with Walmart, McDonald's, Gucci, and just so many more. But then you may be asking, what is actually the problem with any of this? What's so bad about it? Surely this isn't something that negative. And even if it is, it's very unlikely that it's going to be widely adopted. I mean, the Vision Pro is $3,500. People don't have the money to be doing this. Most people don't even make this in a month.
Yeah, but what you don't understand is they'll put a payment plan on it, so it is affordable to everybody. You sign your life away. They're going to make credit available for this thing. On top of that, this is just the first iteration. The first iteration is always the most expensive, same like the very first iPhone. After a few years, they're going to have the Vision Pro Air. That's like $700 fucking dollars. That everybody could get the base model that might not have all the bells and whistles that this one does, but everybody will be able to afford this thing in due time. Just like plasma TVs and all that shit, they were super expensive, LCD TVs, and now they're dirt fucking cheap. They just give them away. You can find a 65-inch monitor for like $300 now. Enos, I respect you going abroad, but if you would have came to Miami, these sexy Latinas would have had you changing your mind. I'm throwing it to a guy like you. They get in bed, I'll tell you. See, dude, that's the thing, though. You don't understand. I'm not interested in street rats from Miami. It's not exciting to me to chase dead animals that just give it away for free. I like a challenge. Been there, done that, brother.
No average person's going to have the money to be doing this, right? Well, trust me when I say that the rabbit hole of the Vision Pro goes so much deeper than you first think. And very soon, the Vision Pro will become as normal as MacBooks are today. This is Apple's plan. And to understand the true consequences of Vision Pro and what experts are terrified of, we need to see why the Vision Pro was created by Apple in the first place. Now, the idea for Apple's Vision Pro stemmed from the increasing interest and potential of augmented reality technology, with Facebook being
JB, man, I'm old school Gen X. The last time me and my girl were out to dinner, we noticed 12 young couples at their tables staring at their phones. Sad. Yeah, it's wild. Now the women out here act so much more mature, so much more grounded, so different. Yeah, you can find your club sluts and all that crazy stuff out here too. Depends on what circles you run, but I'm not looking for those kinds of women. I'm looking for a higher class, more traditionally minded type of women. Just another level up. Yeah, those women tend to be expensive too, because they know they got it. Isaac, this is just augmented reality. Wait until they find a way to make it full dive VR. Not sure what full dive VR is. Is that where you actually feel things as well? Say you get shot in your video game, you feel the bullets. Not too far along, trust me. Not too far off from the future, man. Yeah, you're probably a young dude, and you're just enjoying the play. Super easy in the West, but once you run through enough bodies, you're gonna find out it gets super boring, super fast. Quality over quantity.
Rumored as early as 2013 to be putting all of their focus into virtual reality. And with this knowledge, Apple knew that they had to have skin in the game, because this wasn't just Facebook. Companies like Oculus, Microsoft, and HTC were already releasing their own VR headsets, creating a competitive landscape that Apple had to navigate. Because Tim Cook and Apple's leadership knew that eventually phones and laptops would reach a cap in their market potential, but virtual reality was a completely new possibility. Because eventually phones and laptops will reach a cap in their market potential, but virtual reality was a completely new possibility. An untapped, highly addictive industry with the potential to change the entire global economy and human history. Apple recognized the society-changing possibilities of blending the digital world seamlessly with the real world, and time was running out. They had to get started before any other company like Facebook monopolized the industry. Because if Apple wasn't at the forefront of VR, then this could have potentially wiped out billions of Apple stock a decade later in the future. And with Apple's strategic history of staying at the forefront of technological advancements, there was no way they were ever going to be behind Facebook.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're going to get the creatives with the ease of use of a screen, because right now, imagine you're streamer, video game player, whatever. You need like 2 to 3 monitors to hold all your stuff. One for the screen where you're playing / streaming that we're all watching. The other screen that holds all your streaming stuff so you could see your playback. Maybe another one for your chat box and whatever else off to the side. Okay, well, with the VR glasses, you could essentially just project out all 3 screens. With just the VR glasses, it replaces 3 monitors. So now you do a cost analysis. Do I buy 3 solid monitors that are worth thousands, true color, refresh rate, all this bullshit? Or do I get the VR glasses and now I can work in any space in my house? I'm super mobile and I'm wirelessly connected to my laptop, my desktop, wherever it is in the house. So now I could get up, walk out of my chair, could sit down on my bed, relax, laying down, just be like this, just working with my hands relaxed in bed, editing a full video, streaming with you guys in bed, just like that. Dude, for creators, this is how they hook you in. Same shit. If you're a normal dude and you got a fucking 80-inch latest OLED TV, do you buy the OLED or do you just get these glasses? This is a cost benefit analysis here that people have to do. This replaces so many gadgets in your house. It's crazy. Omni, shout outs to you, brother. How you doing? This is the future of Gen Z. The elites are trying to control the sheep workforce. Yeah. And on top of it, you got to think, not only does it replace a bunch of gadgets, man, but one day this will be the new phone. Like, this is probably the successor to the iPhone. This is the early iteration. I mean, imagine this. Someone just mentioned it. Teams with a crew. Imagine you get on a call of 100 people. It projects you into a room, a giant table, and everybody is at the round table. Everybody at this round table, and you can see their digital avatars that look damn near real, and maybe in the future look real. And it's like being in person, talking to somebody in person. They will absolutely get everybody to buy this thing.
In the VR wars. Now, not much is known about the development of Vision Pro. However, Apple has worked on the headset hardware and software since at least 2016. Most likely 2015, in a division called the Technology Development Group. However, as soon as development started on the Vision Pro, Apple was facing some giant issues. For starters, if Apple was going to addict and plug billions of people into their virtual reality, the experience would need to be seamless, as close to true reality as possible, which was an incredibly...
Yeah, just projecting in the future, man. What is like 6, 7, 8 iterations? Look at the first iPhone and look at the latest iPhone. I mean, it's wildly different. The only thing they really share is a screen on the front, which by today's standards is insanely upgraded. So this thing could be down to a pair of like name brand glasses, literally. Who knows, in the future, it could be an actual lens that you stick on glasses. So you can go get your favorite pair of Ray-Bans and you stick your your Apple lens on your Ray-Bans and you get this product. Like who knows, man?
Hard challenge, especially considering this was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, contact lenses too. Just imagine. It's wild.
The most powerful VR headsets at the time was the first version of the Oculus Rift. And the Oculus...
Like, look how stupid the Oculus Rift looks. Like, this will be reduced down to contacts. It's crazy.
This was heavy and uncomfortable for long periods of time. It was ugly and it felt fake. There was no possible way when you used the Oculus Rift that you would believe it was reality. So Apple knew that if they were going to keep people constantly wired into their own virtual reality, they would need to change this. They had to make the design a compact and lightweight headset with powerful processors, high-resolution displays, advanced sensors, and efficient battery systems. As though you weren't wearing anything at all, Apple was treading uncharted waters. No one had ever done anything like this before, and that's why reports are...
And here's how they get the sports crowd. I remember they were talking about it. Imagine having courtside seats to a basketball game. Imagine being front row at a football game, soccer game, whatever. Imagine being behind the pitcher at a baseball game. And you can buy digital seats to put you right there. They're going to have a camera and it's going to mirror exactly the feeling of being right there at courtside. All the sports guys are going to get this. All the video game players are going to get this. All the content creators are going to get this. It just works for so many people. This is the next step in entertainment. There's no stopping it. And in companies, dude, this is, as far as profits and potential profit, this thing is unlimited. We've never had a way to interact with software like this thing has just enabled. Companies are already seeing the billions in front of them that are just waiting. Omni, thanks again, brother. Imagine playing a game that will give you a dopamine hit. I remember watching a Star Trek episode depicting this. Crazy. Yeah. Imagine watching Star Trek and being on one of the planets, being on the spaceship that they're traveling, going through time travel. Imagine in there, in person. It looks like you're standing in the fucking scene. It will get to that point eventually. People are going to start, Hollywood will start developing movies for the Vision Pro specifically, where it's going to feel like you're there. Just wait, man. People haven't even thought of some of this stuff yet.
Just that Apple's engineers and designers spent years refining and perfecting the headset's features, focusing on comfort, usability, and immersive experiences for years. And this was just the start, because augmented reality also requires intuitive and seamless user interaction. So Apple faced the task of designing an interface that would allow users to effortlessly navigate the digital and physical worlds, also while maintaining a natural and immersive experience. So natural.
Right? Imagine PUBG. Imagine what is a Warzone, Call of Duty. Imagine being dropped out of the airplane. You're seeing all that shit. Imagine you coming down in the parachute, landing, running through the house. It looks like you're in a fucking house, picking up the gun, trying to survive. Like, dude, this level of immersion, people are not ready for.
That you didn't even realize you had it on. And in addition, the Vision Pro also had to integrate seamlessly with its existing ecosystem of devices and services. As one of the key parts of the Vision Pro was that you could connect your photos and apply the iCloud system to your eyes, as though all the stuff that you do on your phone was now just your true reality, because this would allow you to do the unthinkable. Things like watching memories from 5 years ago as if you were there in the exact moment when it happened, along with being able to work wherever you are in the world, without even a computer. All your contacts, work documents, notes, videos, presentations, and music, all stored away in your eyes. And this wasn't just as simple as using the same software for iPhones, iPads, and Macs, because Apple would need to build from the ground up a completely robust, perfect ecosystem of virtual reality applications and content to provide engaging and diverse experiences for Vision Pro users. Having to make deals with Disney to be on the Vision Pro, along with countless other companies that still haven't been disclosed yet. But eventually, it worked, and after almost 9 years of development, the Vision Pro now looks to be one of the first successful attempts at Silicon Valley breaking.
And fashion companies are going to jump on this because we already paid money in video games for skins, for guns, for characters. So imagine like Balenciaga or all these high fashion companies getting all super exclusive with shit that you could deck yourself out on. In the digital world, people are going to pay for it. You already know. They've already paid in the metaverse millions of dollars for digital real estate. This is just how people are, man. You're going to make a killing. Big David, thanks for the 5, brother. What about based Christian Latinas? From a border town, so there's quite a few of them here. If you're living in the West, there's no based Christian Latinas. Sorry, brother, but you better ask the homies that they talk to on the daily how based they actually are. You're going to set yourself up for failure. Sly, thanks. I thought you were a grifter, but you're the real deal. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you.
Breaking into the virtual reality market. By delivering an all-in-one augmented reality headset, Apple has paved the way for immersive and interactive experiences that were once only the stuff of science fiction. Even Ready Player One, a film that was released in 2017, seemed unthinkable. But now with the release of Vision Pro in 2023,
based and women in the West does not mix. It's a paradox.
And this not only sets a new standard for augmented reality, but experts now also warn that this radical new technology will transform every aspect of society. And this is where things get really crazy. Vision Pro is creating an entirely new economy. Virtual reality and AI is what experts predict to be $1 billion or even $1 trillion industry in the near future. And just
I guarantee it would be $1 trillion industry. Floyd, thanks for the 5, brother. The device is going to monetize warfare. People would pay money right now to be able to watch the battlefield in Ukraine from a soldier's point of view. I don't know if it's ever going to get that extreme because operational security, but games like Battlefield that already look fucking ridiculous, dude. You could imagine those being augmented for reality. Now that game will sell 100x. To drop a soldier in a battlefield or be in a tank with a full platoon and all this crazy shit, pushing a location for a flag, all that stuff, is going to be wild to see in real person.
It's like the dot-com bubble, markets are eating up this vision of the future. Although what's being sold as market salvation is actually growth in just 7 tech stocks. Opportunities that are long overhyped and overpriced by the time we get to them. In reality, every other company is sinking into the red. Inflation still rages. And even with a healthy 6-figure salary, many people are still living paycheck to paycheck. Now rich fat cats would have us blissfully watching Fast and Furious 17 on our Apple headsets, while they stay one step ahead, storing their wealth in secretive markets known for their stability. But now, we can beat the billionaires at their own game, getting into a market that keeps growing, fueled by the uber rich, the art market. Even during 2023's economic catastrophe, art market sales have risen above pre-pandemic levels, and luckily
We're being sold stuff, hold on.
Apple's new headset, while very impressive, is only the beginning. It bears the markings of a 1.0 product, the first unperfected move towards a new type of device, a new wave of technology. And with the Vision Pro announcement coming just 5 days after the release of the Meta Quest 3, which was Zuck's latest attempt at growing his metaverse plan, it's clear that everyone in Silicon Valley is pushing towards this. And that's why we're seeing the creation of what people are calling the real world web. Apple referred to this in their announcement, calling the Vision Pro the first device they've made that you look through rather than at. Rather than using a device to peer into the virtual world, people have the virtual world overlaid onto the real one. We'll interact with it every day through virtual screens, objects, places, and people. In short, the virtual world will have fun.
Hold on, I gotta read this one. Bo, you should know that I've shown one of your videos to my female American friend. And from this point onward, she can't stop watching red pill videos. That's a good outcome, I think. Usually I would have been called, what? Incel, loser, hates women, name and shame, baby. I heard them all already.
Finally crossed the border into reality itself. And the Vision Pro's double 4K screens are already close to photorealism, making this future alarmingly close. And
yeah, we don't hate women over here. We just understand them. Female nature is beautiful. Once you get a good grasp of it, you know how everything works, so you can play the game properly. That's it. That's all we're saying. There's no hate in my heart, dude. Love women. Beautiful creatures. Can't get enough of them. Can't say that for everybody in this space, but I know everybody watching agrees. We may not agree on principles here in the West and the ideals they have and what they're spouting, but goddamn, do we want a good woman? Every single man here wants a good woman. That's it, man. We want to start families too. It's just some men have different solutions to get there. Like being a passport bro. It doesn't mean you hate women. It just means that the quality of the woman you want or the values she has doesn't line up. Doesn't mean you hate an entire group. It's just the culture has shifted too far in a direction you don't agree with for raising a family, having kids. That's it, man. But you know, we live in the age where you got to have hot takes. You have to have some spicy statements and you have to distill down hate for the algorithm to pick up. It's unfortunate.
Like I mentioned, this will change everything in society. Surgeons, for example, will see real-time medical information and possible problems when they're working. In fact, people can be trained for nearly any job using AR assistants. People with memory loss will be able to relive lost memories. Schools and colleges will combine classroom settings with virtual reality. That's why the Vision Pro will change the world just as much as the internet has. But if left unchecked, there will be some serious problems.
At these social
Greetings, Germany. Yes, brother. It is almost 1 a.m. here. Indeed.
media platforms are picking the next president, the next congressman. They're literally picking, and they have the power to pick, so they will be controlled by the government.
That's why Professor Reed explained when talking about virtual reality that, quote, the ultimate aim is not just virtual reality or augmented reality, it's mixed reality. It's blending the digital and the real world together. And ultimately this blend may be so good and so pervasive that the virtual and the real become indistinguishable. And the market for that is gigantic, because whoever controls it will basically have control over your entire reality. And then when you really think about it, if an entire new world, memories, life and culture is adopted into the virtual world, then who's actually controlling this world? The same company using sweatshops with suicide nets in China? The same company caught spying on all of its users with iPhones? The same company that censors any political opinions that don't fit into their ESG score? It's clear that our free will not be as free as we think very soon, because we're becoming attached to the virtual world on autopilot, and it's already happening, where our phones and computers are morphing into our second brains, with all of our memories, personal tastes, secrets, hobbies, music, conversations, all being stored into a virtual cloud. But once we actually live inside the virtual world, when our entire society and culture exists in this virtual world, that's when we need to be concerned. Because if the Vision Pro succeeds, it will be bigger than the iPhone. And this leads on to one of the biggest problems with AI and the Vision Pro lie. Augmented reality will remove the last few seconds of time between the impulse to follow the distraction and getting the dopamine reward. They will push the digital world of distractions right into people's faces. And this final wall between us and the digital world is crucial. Instead of having adverts and notifications appear on your phone, they'll appear directly in your vision. With augmented reality, technology will become even more demanding of your attention and your time, and Apple will use this to their advantage, plugging you into their addictive data harvesting system 24/7, giving them an untold wealth of information to sell. But it goes the other way as well. One of the most celebrated upcoming features of the Vision Pro is its insane eye tracking capability. With a set of incredibly detailed and intricate cameras, the headset will use eye movements as a key navigation device for the entire interface. I mean, it's already been revealed that the headset will create a user profile based on how you use your eyes to focus on things and view your environment. And this information is gold to advertisers and personality profilers. By studying the data on the exact way that you perceive and see adverts, big tech will have even more tools to predict what you'll want next. They'll be able to tell exactly how long each thing they show you keeps your attention and what draws you away, what sights distract you, what colors light up your brain. And this will complement and work in tandem with the real world web, meaning that your every desire will literally be at your fingertips. And it's in this way that augmented reality and the real world web brings us far closer to Nozic's experience machine. Now, this is a classic thought experiment of a machine that offers you the best possible existence, complete bliss and pleasure. The only cost that comes with this is that you won't want to ever be unplugged. It detaches you from reality itself. Even though it's literal heaven, lots of people won't accept being plugged in, as there's a value in reality that's unattainable from a simulation, or at least that's what the thought experiment suggests. And this is exactly what the Vision Pro offers: happiness and a world of information and entertainment at your fingertips. But we've already seen that this isn't bringing people happiness. In fact, it's doing the opposite. I mean, the majority of people in the West have access to luxuries that the lords and kings of history couldn't even dream of: hot showers, a diverse and delicious range of food and drinks, entertainment at a moment's notice. But we're never actually happier. We're more miserable, lonely, and empty every single day, because the happiness that augmented reality and the experience machine promise is false. The whole idea of this philosophical concept is that happiness isn't something that we should value above everything else. It's fleeting when it's provided through distractions.
He does have a doomer take sometimes on this stuff, like it's helpless, but you have to understand, at the end of the day, you're an adult and you're responsible and accountable on how you use this technology, because social media can be good if used properly. You can learn a ton of important things off social media if you follow the correct accounts that fill your feed with relevant information that you could use in your real life. Sure, if you're just using it to consume brain dead content constantly, then it'll absolutely turn your brain into mush. There will be people that use this product to produce and become millionaires. This product will be the foundation for the next generation of millionaires who adopt it early and begin creating on it. That's the truth, man. With all things in the world, if used responsibly, it will be fine. Unfortunately, most people are just fucking apes. They will not use this responsibly. They will use this, almost like 98% of the people that will buy this VR vision goggles will use it for entertainment, for brain dead content. It's not that it's evil. There's no morality in this, like sometimes Moon likes to say. It's the fact that people aren't trained in self-control and discipline. So that's fine, man. I'm probably going to buy this. I'll be completely honest, just because I want the screen and I want to be able to edit and have 10 different windows open and see everything clearly and not need a desk and free myself from sitting down too much. I hate sitting down. It'd be nice to be able to walk. It would be nice, imagine this, to walk around a park and work on editing an episode, or maybe going live and being able to actually interact with chat while I'm walking in a park. I mean, there's endless things you can do with this, man. For me personally, I hate sitting down. It's uncomfortable even in the fucking chair I'm in right now. I want to walk around, dude, and do shit. I want you guys to walk around with me. Be nice. If you could do that without holding a fucking phone in front of your face the entire time, I could just have the goggles on and I could walk around naturally, get exercise in. We could do, like, imagine this. Imagine a live stream of waking up early in the morning and running 5 miles with you guys. I know the goggles in the current iteration are too fucking big and clumsy to survive such a thing, but there may be some stationary biking or some sort of exercises that we could all do together at the same time. There are ways to use this positively and responsibly and get other people to move, use their body, lose some weight, gain some muscle, things like that, man. There will be ways to use this. I guarantee you. There's positive things that can come out of this too. It's just most people won't use it that way. That's the only problem. And then Big David, thanks for the 10, brother. The homie is currently dating one. She knows all of what they're doing to the West, and she doesn't agree with any of it, like current month theme agenda and all that. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's needle in a haystack, dude. I can't, give you direct advice on your situation, but just know you're always at risk because you're in the West. And never forget, the laws aren't in your favor. No matter how good of a woman she is, just legally, you're at risk. So plan accordingly.
And hedonism. Nietzsche's work on happiness gives us the real reason behind all of this. People see happiness as the end result of a cycle of wanting something, then getting it. But for Nietzsche, happiness isn't the end result of a process. Instead, it's a byproduct of the process as a whole. It's the journey, not the destination. The hard work of achieving your goals in life, both big and small, is where happiness really comes from. And the problem with the Vision Pro is that it promises to get rid of all the obstacles that make the journey in the first place, pretty much removing the journey entirely. And this will kill the small amounts of happiness left to take in the world. Paradoxically, pursuing happiness as the final goal, as the solution to the masses problem, means that people will never actually find real happiness. Therefore, Apple isn't really solving the issue that it's trying to fix. Outside of helping you to do a specific thing in a specific case, it will only serve as a distraction just like iPhones do. It will reduce your attention span and make you easily distracted and less determined, which are the qualities that run completely counter to the cycle of achievement that Nietzsche describes, the happiness inhibitors. It's a procrastination machine, leaving the masses more addicted, more distracted, more dopamine deprived than ever before. It won't just be people based on virtual reality though. The type of content we consume will also change to reflect the shortening of attention spans. The short form content that's become so prevalent will evolve to fill the niches that AR leaves open. They already play on experience. Most short form content tries to provoke a single.
You're right. I do need to look into a standing desk, huh? If somebody could email me some badass standing desks, please let me know. Ones that can hold up to triple monitors.
Motion in the quickest way possible. So just think of 1-minute pet adoption videos that are playing on your heartstrings, or the 5-second skits and jokes that won your laughter, or other forms of short form content that give you multiple things to focus on at once, like a podcast clip with some satisfying imagery or some game footage all mashed together. AI will then let these videos intrude on your other senses and give them a real presence, making them that much more immersive and therefore more addictive. These horrible videos becoming seamlessly integrated into your actual world.
That's a good point, Ham Sandwich. So he wrote, I'm going to move to a third world country before this becomes affordable here. I'll get at least 15 years of normal before everybody goes straight up stupid. That's a very good point, because here in Eastern Europe, it feels like we're 30 years behind here in terms of like, here's what I've noticed the most: mall culture. Do you guys remember 80s, 90s America mall culture? People performing at the mall. The mall's got a ton of lights, things flashing everywhere, crowds of people walking. It's packed. Kids are hanging out and playing, doing all that crazy shit. It's lively. That's here right now in Eastern Europe. It feels like I went back in time into 90s America. That's what it feels like right here, mixed in with some futuristic shit like people having cell phones. For the most part though, culture here, kids are still outside playing, still fucking normal. I see young boys playing soccer and shit all the time. It's wild, bro. It's like I'm back in the 90s. It feels great. Honestly, it's refreshing. People are still people. Mall culture in America is dead. Most of the malls are closed down. It's fucking wild. So yeah, it is like going back in time in the best way possible here. I feel like I just bought myself my childhood again. It's crazy. Free, thanks for the 13, brother. Really appreciate the broad topics you watched. Just got my financial license last month and plan on grinding to escape Canada for greater things. One question though, how can I send you video requests? Through the email. It's tribeofmen@yahoo.com, or the easiest that I could track is on the Discord. There's a channel called Show Submissions.
Side effect that most people don't even discuss about this is how virtual reality is going to affect people in delusions. People like otherkins, furries, or TikTok reality shifters who think they're actually in the Harry Potter universe. Virtual reality will only give these people the means to live out their delusions, turning their own worlds into what they want them to be. Or just imagine political echo chambers that come into reality and manifest themselves in your living room, or a world of Instagram models and influencers and adult entertainment stars that will look more real than real, without taking off their headset or unplugging from the system, and you'll be under the illusion that everyone looks perfect. Your dopamine will be fried, and any addictions you have to attractive girls on Instagram and other sites will only be doubled. This is the future we're rapidly approaching, and Apple's Vision Pro is the first step in that direction. A new virtual world that will strip you of your privacy, discipline, focus, freedom, and authenticity. So long as our culture continues to offer nothing whatsoever of substance, authenticity, or meaning, nightmarish trends like the Vision Pro will only continue to proliferate. And the sad fact is that the majority of us will jump in without even a second thought.
Interesting.